Everyone, please type in the group chat. Am I audible?
Yes, Madiha, you are audible.
Thank you. Assalamu alaikum, good afternoon, and good morning. Greetings to everyone joining us from different time zones. My name is Madiha Rubab, and I'm delighted to welcome you to our webinar titled Unveiling the Islamic Banking Landscape in South America. I'm honored to be your moderator for this session. I'm a banker and a perpetual learner, and honored to be member of the Distinguished Management Committee of Al-Sadiq Institute of Banking and Finance at the Kabul. Just a brief overview of today's webinar. It will highlight the burgeoning Islamic banking market in South America. We'll explore the latest trends, untapped potential, and strategic opportunities available for Islamic banking in this region. This is definitely a unique opportunity to gain insight from an expert in this field. Without further ado, it is my pleasure to introduce our esteemed speaker, Mr. Faizan Ahmed, presently serving as CFO and Executive Board Member at Trustbank Amanah in Suriname, that is in South America. He is responsible for treasury management, financial reporting, IT, and digitalization initiatives across the organization. He has numerous degrees, mashallah. He is a certified Sharia advisor and auditor, certified Islamic professional accountant, PGD in Islamic banking and finance, and chartered Islamic finance professional from INSEF University. Now let's dive into the core of our webinar. Mr. Faizan will take us through the challenges and opportunities in the Islamic banking sector in South America. He will also shed light to provide a strategic insight. Now over to you, Mr. Faizan. And I request all the participants to kindly type their questions. I will then relay it to Mr. Faizan. Over to you, Mr. Faizan. Thank you.
Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Good afternoon, good morning. There is a different time zones, but I don't know which language is more comfortable, but I will try to go for a mixed lingual. First time today I'm doing a session. Generally, I have seen people have already been with me in different sessions or so. So mostly I have conducted a session on a technical parts. But now today is a very interesting topic about unveiling the Islamic banking in South America. In this presentation, one slide is generally for my own introduction. If you guys have any questions after this webinar or anything, you can follow me on my LinkedIn or my WhatsApp channel. Okay. I'm not starting with what is Islamic banking. I assume most of you have idea, and many people right now have already understanding about Islamic finance, Islamic banking. I have started my career in Islamic banking when people were just saying that Islamic banking is a dream. या यूं कहो कि लोग कहते थे कि पागल लोग हैं ये लोग ये इस्लामिक बैंकिंग की चीज़ों के ऊपर बात करना या लिटरली लोग कहते थे कि स्टोन एज की बातें कर रहे हैं हम लोग आज ऑलमोस्ट across it's my fifth country where I'm implementing the Islamic banking or I'm really happy even in this region when we started the Islamic finance. I'll come to it how we started and what are we right now. First, I just want to explain to my participants, especially in Pakistan and so, about CARICOM. Okay, what is CARICOM? अच्छा, पाकिस्तान में बहुत से लोगों को जो पाकिस्तान से कनेक्टेड है, मेरे दोस्त, उनको ये पता है कि वेस्ट इंडीज एक क्रिकेट टीम है। और आजकल मैं जिस रीजन में हूँ और हम जहाँ हैं उसी रीजन में क्रिकेट का वर्ल्ड कप हो रहा है। तो यूएसए से हारने के बाद प्लीज कोई प्रोटेस्ट के चक्कर में ये ना छोड़ जाए। इसमें हमारा कसूर नहीं है, पाकिस्तान टीम हारी है। हमारे रीजन का कसूर कोई नहीं है इसमें। वेस्ट इंडीज बेसिकली एक रीजन है, मुल्क नहीं। और ये वेस्ट इंडीज बेसिकली सेंट्रल अमेरिका, अमेरिकाज बेसिकली, हम लोग अमेरिकाज की जब बात करते हैं, अमेरिकाज को 3 हिस्सों में डिवाइड किया जाता है। पाकिस्तान से वैसे जनरली हम लोग जब कहते हैं अमेरिका तो सब समझते हैं यूएसए। नॉर्थ अमेरिकाज में जनरली आप कनाडा और यूएसए को काउंट करते हैं, और यूएसए के कुछ पार्ट को हम सेंट्रल अमेरिका में भी काउंट करते हैं। ये पूरा एक रीजन है, जैसे हमारा एशिया एक रीजन है, इस तरह से ये भी एक पूरा रीजन है। उसके बाद आता है वेस्ट इंडीज एंड कैरेबियन, कैरिकॉम। अच्छा, कैरिबियन और वेस्ट इंडीज बेसिकली क्रिकेट एसोसिएशन के लिए बना हुआ है। ऑलमोस्ट 11-12 कंट्रीज उसके अंदर हैं। जमैका, ब्रायन लारा जो आपके बड़े फेमस क्रिकेटर गुजरे हैं वो बारबाडोस हैं, वो एक अलग कंट्री है। तो ये एक अलग अलग कंट्री है सब। और ये छोटे छोटे आइलैंड्स के तौर पे वेस्ट इंडीज, और फिर इसके अंदर गयाना एक और मुल्क है। इसके बाद आता है साउथ अमेरिका। अच्छा, कैरेबियन के ऊपर जो मैं बात करता हूँ, जब हम कैरेबियन की बात करते हैं तो हमारे दिमागों में आता है बीचेस, पार्टीज, एंजॉयमेंट। बट ये एक बहुत मेजर रीजन अब उठ के सामने आया है। पहले यहाँ पे दुनिया की अटेंशन नहीं थी, आज मिडल ईस्ट की अटेंशन यहाँ पे बहुत है। आज यहाँ पे अमेरिका इटसेल्फ, चाइना अच्छे तरीके से इस मार्केट में एंटर हुआ हुआ है। And if I will say, our neighboring country is in relationship with, even in almost every small country, small island, they have their embassies. Unfortunately, we have not that type of, yeah, we have a Brazilian embassy who has a touch with others, but trade relationships यहाँ पे बहुत strongly tie up हो रहे हैं। So, the Caribbean community made a community which we are saying CARICOM. CARICOM is a basically organizations where they, like हमारे यहाँ पे सार्क है, अमेरिका में भी है सार्क। कॉन्सेप्ट ये है कि जो सार्क पे सिर्फ यहाँ तक लिमिटेड नहीं है, ये रीजन एक दूसरे के साथ बहुत सपोर्टिव भी है। अच्छा, इसमें है कौन कौन? इसमें बहुत सारे कंट्रीज हैं, फुल मेंबर्स हैं। अब मैं किसी को कहूँ, अच्छा अफ्रीका में है, यहाँ है। ये कंट्री नॉर्दर्न पार्ट ऑफ साउथ अमेरिका में डच कम्युनिटी है। 1975 में डच नीदरलैंड से इन्होंने आज़ादी हासिल की थी।
Sorry to interrupt, sir.
या
Sorry to interrupt, sir. Sir, we have international participants and they're requesting us to kindly use
Okay.
English as the medium
I
of
was just,
language.
yeah, perfect, great.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Basically, Suriname is the country. It's northern part of South America. In the CARICOM, basically, we have seen there stand first the region. Region is like it's basically having so many islands, so many other communities, mostly English communities, but it's only Suriname which I have highlighted. It's a Dutch community, but English language is also available, but the primary language is Dutch, because we are not saying Dutch now. The language name is changed also. They are saying Netherlands. Language name is Netherlands. So half of these countries are already part of West Indies, as I mentioned. People are saying, what is West Indies? And like, if I have mentioned full members, Bahamas, Barbados, Belize, Dominica, Grenada, Guyana, Haiti, Jamaica, Montserrat, Saint Kitts and Nevis, Saint Lucia, Saint Vincent, and Suriname, Trinidad, Tobago is a one country. It depends on the two islands. Associated member, we have also Anguilla, Bermuda. It's not a Bermuda Triangle, okay? And when I came here, it's like the stories which we are listening, our region is totally different. We have almost so many flights from that area. We are from we have CAML and Turks and Casio Islands. Observe, because these are the still islands which are the communities of certain communities is French community, certain like a French community means still the like a French Guyana is still having a government under the government of French France. Curacao, I'm just mentioning, it's still into the Netherlands part. So there are still islands or this which are under the territory of European countries. Okay, so the next part is Suriname. Where Suriname located, as I mentioned, if you see the green into the South American region, it's a beautiful green country. Almost Amazonia is Amazon jungle is starting from this country. Almost 94% green, negative carbon contribution towards the world. There are only few countries. Number one is Bhutan, and number two is Suriname, who is having a negative carbon. And since last 5 we were busy here. The name of Suriname Energy Oil and Gas Summit, because I will discuss what the oil and gas thing is, and the world is worried about it, that how to manage the ESG compliance when there is a oil and gas. But I will discuss it further and what is the relationship with the Islamic finance also. So if you see in the map, I have mentioned it, it's a Suriname. Let's now, I'm just discussing about Islamic banking journey. Why in this region we are doing Islamic banking? What was the requirement? As I mentioned, when we started Islamic finance, people were saying like, it's a like old age thing, what we are talking about. But Islamic finance is a totally different, innovative boutique of a products. We are not saying Islamic finance is only for Muslims. Islamic finance is for the world. The innovative products, innovative instruments, innovative treasury products, what we are dealing with here practically are totally different. Even in Pakistan, if still we have not tried that models, because here it's listings and all this type of requirements are very open, and we are basically in the Trustbank Amanah, where I am right now, is one of the oldest bank here. It's open in 1989, and very strong legacy into the market. And initially, it was like the investment bank. It was not the primary, or in this region, we are saying there are two types of banks. One is primary bank, one is secondary bank. So Trust Bank was a secondary bank owned by one of the families here, but then now it's like a more public bank. Almost in 2002 or 2003, the same group started up with one other bank, which was a primary bank. And we are making joke here that there was a divorce happened between both banks as a primary or secondary bank in 2012. And then the one of the investors came up the idea, because in Suriname, it's a before starting again on the trust bank, I just want to say the Muslim population is almost 14%. But the religious harmony here is like at its peak because no one is originally from this land, except for indigenous people. So due to the sugarcane plantation, before 1860s, it was a slavery here. So people from African region were here, and in African region there are different communities. Then after slaveries, basically people from Hindustan, especially from the northern part of the east coast of the Hindustan, people came here. Then there are one more community here is Indonesian community. And here the religion is basically religious harmony is like, as I mentioned, is at peak. Whatever the religion holidays are there, everybody is celebrating, especially for Muslims. We have now just Eid is coming. Ramadan is was like in the Ramadan is excellent. Basically, we are seeing here it's really festive. So people are enjoying everything. There is no impact between Islamic or Christianity or Judaism. Even there is a mosque here, and people are saying it's like a world record. Into one compound, they are sharing a compound door also, into one boundary wall. It's a mosque and a shalom, a Jews, shalom is into the one, uh, yeah, even if you go for a prayer, you can the issue of a parking also. They open with easier like each others. The idea was planned that I think there is some error is coming, recording is progress or something again. So it's buzzing there. Okay. So the initial thoughts came up that it's a small bank, let's plan it big and let's make it primary bank. And then the initial investors approached Islamic Development Bank Jeddah to work closely on this project. And Islamic Development Bank Jeddah practically treated this project like their baby. They really helped the bank to convert it. Even there was a team deputed here to do the conversion, to change the core systems from secondary to primary bank, and the most challenging part was a license. So now Trustbank Amanah is full-fledged Islamic bank. Why I am giving this introduction? Because now I will again jump to the country thing, that this country, why Islamic banking was required and what happening now. So practically, if you see into the picture, it's a beautiful landscape, almost 600,000 people population, beautiful jungles with the river. It's the weather is like a tropical weather. Daily there is rain. No high rises. Landscape is like more about practically if you see the straight landscape, one or two story buildings, beautiful like a old Europe style. And now, after struggling of the economy, this country just recovering from a struggle of economy because it was impacted as a hyperinflation. And hyperinflation is like since 2020, before COVID, there was certain issues. And then after COVID, this country's dollar is to our local currency name is SRD. So practically they were really into the like more than 300% inflation. Initially, the currency value was 7 SRD is to $1, and today then it went up to 41 SRD into $1. So like a drastic situation. But still this community, these people work closely together and within tremendous timeline, like 2023, December, the rate was 41. And they started their emergency situation in 2022. And today, as of now, if I'm talking to you today, dollar rate is 30:1, almost 33% appreciation into the currency. And I have never seen in any economy like this. And this because I am the part of certain working groups with the government and closely working with the Ministry of Finance here. So we know what actions they took and how they recovered it. And that what we are saying sacrifice at all level. And what is the return that this country has now tremendous reserves of oil and gas. And the neighboring country, Guyana, has already started the oil exploration. And that oil exploration is literally the GDP growth in neighboring country in 2021, even after COVID, 2022, was 50%. Unbelievable, like not a double digit, like double digit or 3 or 4%. Even we were talking about a minus somehow. 50%, 33%. Now finally they are like they did so much growth, and their own benchmark is very high. So now still their growth is in double digit. And the reason is the way they are exploring the oil, and they are claiming that it is not owned by anyone. The natural resources owned by people. And for people, they started installing the industries. Even Middle Eastern airline, Qatar is planning to come in this region. UAE is planning to come in this region. Already the discussions, even though I came into this region because of ICD Jeddah, uh, and they were planning to invest here in the bank. And now we are going to be one of the US-based bank as Islamic bank. It will be the first time into the history that some Islamic bank will have be a US-based bank. Like our majority will be from the US investors. And it's a really a challenging thing for us initially, but they are also planning to invest in Islamic finance. Okay, as I mentioned about the economy thing, just few more highlights on the economy. Key economic factors are basically they are in Suriname, we have mining is a gold, bauxite is a aluminum thing, oil is just came out, and my neighboring country is claiming that they are by 2027. They just mentioned in this conference that the per day their plan is almost 1.2 million barrels per day. However, Suriname is already proven contracts. Total is here. The discussion has been started, but they are not. They have not started. So the recovery of economy happened without any oil thing. Even the IMF negotiations has been happened. They have not put the oil revenues into it. And oil revenues, what we are expecting into the discussions and so will be very high. But they have not signed yet the FID. FID is basically the initial contract between the exploration company and the country where they agreed on terms and condition of how much percentage of a royalty and all this thing, plus how to comply with the ESG, because this country is more looking towards the sustainability and the environment thing. Worldwide, it's a ESG. ESG is there. ESG has missed so many things in the world yet with the recent report when I was in last month in Riyadh, where there was a World Economic Forum and there was certain things were discussed about ESG, and this region is still on the high scale of ESG. Uh, After mining, they have a good agricultural land. They are exporting rice. They have a good quality of rice here. So and not only the rice. The first time I have learned about the concept non-forest timber products. And this region and this country is very much key into the non-forest timber products. And non-forest timber products is like the products from the jungle, from the forest, but not the wood. Okay. No timber. They do if they want to cut one plant, so they need to plant the small plants, at least 10 plants, because they are saying if you are cutting one tree, you need to plant at least 10. So 5 will survive or 4 will survive. Until that time, this 4 will not come to that level. You cannot cut another tree. So that type of laws and regulations are here. So it's not easy to cut the jungle here. So as I mentioned, forestry, fisheries they have, and the tourism. Okay, now I'm talking about the Islamic finance. As I mentioned, Suriname discovers oil and gas. And being a panelist, I have a discussion about the large scale projects, that how to handle the large scale projects here. And into the large scale projects, basically the major concept is with the sustainable finance. And we are talking about the sustainable finance. So that the beauty, first time I came to a theory given by here local, not the local, he is US based person, is Islamic finance is more about a green finance. What is green? Basically, they are saying the green is that where you are not allowing the casinos, you are not allowing the braveries, you are not allowing the weapons, you are not allowing the pornography, you are not allowing like anything which is prohibited, including interest and speculation and so. Basic one more thing I learned is here is the ethical bank. It's not your contracts should be only Islamic. Your ethics, your bank ethics should prove that you are Islamic banking. And that is somehow missing somewhere in certain countries, that we are focusing only on the contract should be Sharia compliant. Here, even Muslim or not Muslim is not the case. Everyone here is trying to be compliant. Everyone is taking care of a responsibility to be Sharia compliant. So as I mentioned, we have infrastructure thing. So basically, we are looking like Indonesia is a market, a lead market into green sukuk. Now, what is green sukuk? That green sukuk model we are replicating. We had a discussion with Indonesian ambassador. Our delegate from our bank is soon going to Indonesia to learn the model. But Indonesia came up with, if we are doing anything towards the carbon footprint, immediately we will do the action of a negative carbon. So net zero thing can be done, and that they are saying it can be possible because the finance minister of Indonesia is one of the active minister, and she mentioned and that negative carbon is one of the challenge for them as biggest population, but it should not a challenge for us right now because we are already negative carbon. So Islamic instrument, and that angle and that prospect we have never seen, that how to be towards to the negative carbon and a sustainable finance through the Islamic way. And one more challenge like a green sukuk, as I mentioned, and most of the people who have no idea just explain. Green sukuk is more about the hydro projects. Green sukuk is more about this. They in Indonesia they have made a bridge, and that bridge have a solar panels. So the electricity is generating. It is alternate electricity. Okay, so this type of, and they already issued more than $7 billion green sukuk currently, and it is including the Indonesian currency also, and it's including the USD currency for the international market. Here we are also trying to replicate that sukuk model, where we will give a chance, not sorry to say, just a sale and lease back sukuk or a diminishing musharka so-called sukuk. Like it's a sukuk. Sukuk means where you are literally sukuk things should not be only restructuring of a debts, right? Sukuk should be literally come up for the idea where you are doing some infrastructure developments. And here, as I mentioned, infrastructure development is required. They are working because of when they are, and all the oil and gas is going towards the offshore. Offshore means not into the mainland, but into the sea level. They will explore. Already, the Petronas has started exploring one block. So into the borders of the country, but deep sea level, they are like in Pakistan also. I have idea. I don't know why this project was abandoned. All of a sudden there was a tweet came out that there is no oil there. Uh, Strange, but it was into some sea level. Almost every celebrations were ready, and all of a sudden that not happened. Other thing is corporate finance, like the people here are doing a trading, mostly import from the China's community, because most of the supermarkets, the big supermarkets are from Chinese people. So they are really interested into the inventory financing. So inventory financing is like for us, it's more about the Murabaha transactions. We are the bank, only bank into the country who have a subsidized profit rates from the government to fund the farmers. So we are doing a certain Murabaha transactions. Mostly we are now entering into the Ijara facility, and Ijara facility is very interestingly, I have never seen in any other country except for and Ijara mode into the world is mostly commonly used in modes, and we are having a an Ijara company of the bank as a bank. We will having a will not happen yet, but now they are in from the India. We will have a tractor company give us a dealership. We have signed a dealership, sell the tractor. I'm a banker and I'm doing a practically a dealership of a tractor, and that dealership will handle the leasing to the farmers. And that leasing will be basically here with Tamlik, but it's not benchmark or something. It's just I have remembered when the IFAS 2 came, and therefore Ijara abolished in Pakistan, practically vanished Ijara in Pakistan because IFAS 2 came. And what was the reason? Because the accounting is saying that there should not be the straight line. Here, it's nothing. It's just a market rate, and whatever the market rate, and it can be Ijara to own, operating lease, and we are dealing or trading. So we need to make a expertise from a dealer for a Ijara company. And the same time, we are also doing a excavators. So as a Islamic bank, none of the conventional bank is able to do it, but we, central bank, allowed us because they are saying your model is like this. So you should have your own SPV sort of thing, and you can issue a Ijara Sukuk from the Ijara company. And that case study is a really a good case study where you are literally exactly practicing the Islamic finance. Likewise, we as wealth management also, the other product which we are working right now is on to the real estate company. The central bank has already, we had discussions, and now we will own a real estate company where we will make our own premises, which will be a technology-based tower, and then we can rent it out. And the rental will come. It's a rental, not the benchmark with the profit or interest rate benchmark. Rental. Market rent is like, for example, that per square foot is this, it is coming to the bank. And that rent, that real estate company, again, it's a financial institution, and they will also issue the. So this type of instruments or this type of innovative ideas allowed here only because of they see the Islamic finance is the only option Because they are not saying Islamic finance is the, like in the certain part of the world, Islamic finance is seen as an alternate option of a conventional bank. Here they are saying Islamic finance is something new, which is because we already have a conventional bank. We don't need any Islamic bank to replicate the conventional bank. We need the Islamic bank here not to replicate the conventional banking. We need the Islamic bank to do some innovative thing in digitalization, in the real estate market, in oil and gas with the sukuk thing, in the green sukuk, ijara, whatever you take the name, and there are the alternates. Even sometimes my Sharia board people are saying when we are talking to them that our Sharia board is basically one scholar is from Malaysia and two are local, and now we are expanding to one person from Middle Eastern market is going to join us. But when we are discussing with them, it's not about that this bank is saying this, therefore we need to do it. Here we are coming up with the idea where the government especially is looking at us, that how we can help, like as I mentioned, agri-finance. There are almost 8 banks. Government selected our bank to give us a fund to our bank, almost 200 million, to do the financing to the farmers, because they are saying you have a value chain system. You give the financing to the farmer, farmer will grow the rice, then it will come to you. You will issue the, like you will help them to export, and you can do the deferred payment murabaha. So basically, they are saying the Islamic finance is like into the salam, then salam will go to murabaha. So my funds will not stuck for 90 days. It will 180 days, 360 days, and that value chain is giving a boost towards our banking side. And therefore, as I mentioned recently, I'm into the part of some already we have signed some MOU with the US based investors, and they are basically mostly promoting SMEs, but they are continue the Islamic finance in a way. And I'm hearing that different words which I'm sharing, they are saying Islamic finance in a way as a boutique. We want a boutique, a solutions to the people, not to give them the debt. And that was the essence of Islamic finance, not the private equity. Nobody is saying to do the private equity. Yes, we are doing a private equity, but no one is saying to do only the private equity, but ecosystem. You can be part of the ecosystem and you can handle it. So these are the so many more you can see on my presentation, but this is all about the Islamic finance exposure. As a trust bank, we are expanding into the region. We are going towards international also. We are targeting our future plan recent days. Like we are almost a first digital bank in this country, not the neo bank, but a digital bank. But now we are expanding because this is a Netherlands community, so we are looking towards to open certain setup in Netherlands and Middle Eastern in the Dubai DIFC. So we can expand more into the Asian market ties and the local ties. So basically almost it's 8:20. So if I can open a forum for a question and answers, I'm here. And one just last thing to the youngsters who are attending my session today, please don't wait for the opportunities. Explore the world. Okay, LinkedIn is not going to give you only the opportunities. You cannot ask someone to apply for the job, right? You have to explore the world, and we need to open up. Once this thing will be open out, right? The people will, like, we should be, Dubai, Saudi is not the market. USA, Europe is not the market. Even, sorry to say, there is certain challenges in that market. But explore the markets where, and I'm seeing here the young people from the China, they are doing everything here, like a supermarket business, this business, oil and gas, they are entered. Like, so please be try to into the entrepreneurship skills or into the career type, open up for the markets, and then we can explore the new world. So now I'm open for the question answers thing. Over to you, Madiha.
Assalamu alaikum, Faizan. Multiple queries are being sent in chat box. Can you read them?
Okay, Mr. Guyu Golicha, okay, I speak in English. Mohsin Abbas also did it. Yeah, okay. You are very nicely discussing this. Do you have the conventional taxation mechanism? Have any studied tax versus zakat? Because I have feeling that inflation, hyperinflation has provided present tax system a failure and zakat is a solution. I'm not the expert of a zakat and this, but yes, in the taxation, this country recovered from a taxation. Okay, it's a non-Muslim country, so there is no zakat law or something, but it basically see it's written home. So I cannot read who is asking the question. Zakat is our religious obligation, but unfortunately, the use of zakat happening in the country, if it is used properly, then the countries will not go towards the inflation. And if the people will pay tax here in the country, we are saying if you will ask someone that tax, everyone is paying the tax, right? Everyone is paying the tax, and it's no like it's a computerized system, this system, but due to the tax, and everyone is registered, and filing date is like not missing. So people paying the tax, and people are ready to save their country. And zakat is a religious obligation. Here, people are paying the zakat to the mosque. And so I'll just give you the example where I am, because I have seen into the different world. Here, like in Ramadan, only one example, all the mosques, all the families are going to the mosque before Maghrib prayers, and they are bringing their certain food, whatever they have available. If you don't have a food, no issues. They are going to the mosque. There is a proper eating room there, proper celebration room there. There is a buffet sort of thing. They are putting all the food there. When there is a prayers, everybody, nobody is asking who is bringing what, and everybody is enjoying the food. And that is the people who are sharing, right? It's not that you just give a pack of ration to the poor and we are thinking, okay, we did our job. It's most about the sharing, sitting with everyone. Even here, I'm seeing in Ramadan, ministers are going to the mosque and they are doing iftar. After iftar, they are having a family time. People are talking to each other, and then Taraweeh prayers or Isha prayers. And after this, there is a like a recitation of a Quran to improve your Quran thing. And it's a 4 5 hours, but 30 days continuous session, and everybody is enjoying it. So it is not about the tax and zakat, about the inflation. It is about the intention. Governments can not do only. There is a intentions of an individual, that how we can protect the society and how we can protect the country. So yeah, zakat is real. Therefore, the zakat system came up. Na? And when everybody was paying a proper zakat, the term came where nobody was ready to able to take a zakat. So this is also one of the things. Is Trustbank Amanah is fully Islamic bank? Yes, full-fledged 100% Islamic banking license, not the window. Window of Islam. No, no, it's a full-fledged Islamic bank. Also, most of the challenge of Islamic financial institutions, source of finance of them, because almost big lenders lend with, no, no. In our country, we don't have this type of challenge where we are working. Most of our people are private equity, and if you will come to America's market, even for the entrepreneurs, new players into the market, there are so many hedge funds. There are so many, even there are like people who are doing a private equity. They are asking for the stake into the company, 30% stake, 40% stake, and they are ready to help you. Even as I mentioned, 2 days, 5 days session, there was a two sessions, one for women entrepreneurs, and the banks were participating for private equity. Even you are a conventional bank, you need to look after them from a private equity part of side. So the people are coming, doing a pitch. So yeah, interest is there, but not into the Islamic system. And as I mentioned, our bank is more like a public bank. So the money came up from the public now. So there is no element of yeah, the large banks are not doing it, but we are more supportive towards like Islamic Development Bank and so our contracts and everything is like very clear. What are the actually mean of ethically banking? It's a Qazi Ubaid question. Ah, ethically means ethics. Ethically means not only the documentation. Okay. And then next question is into the small economy and the big economy. It's not about the big or small economy thing. It's all about one thing, intention. If you are looking the Islamic finance as an alternate of a conventional bank, then you don't have an intention. If you are looking towards the Islamic banking as the only option or as a different innovative option, then you can deal with it. If you are replicating the interest-based contracts towards the Islamic, then it's a challenge, and everywhere it will remain challenge. But it's not about the small or big economies. Our neighboring country is a big economy, but they also turn around after 90s. Okay, it's not because of the Islamic banking, but they turn around after 90s and the most part of the private equity. And if you read the Manmohan Singh book, how he convinced the international investors to come in and offer them the government fund towards the private equity. So it's basically the way you are dealing the economies. China is also a very large economy, and their GDP and this thing is going very large. So if we reading mostly this thing, so the thing is not to the debt. It's more about the private equity thing. What we are saying about the Musharka and Mudarba, but the private equity is like this. And in the Western part of the world, the mostly banks are not now doing a common into the especially business. It is not the debt-based instruments. More they are going towards the private equity. Even you go to Europe, in this region, since I came, I'm learning. So everyone is mostly, yeah, they are doing a mortgage, which is a conventional. So in the Pakistan and other part of doing, we have a mortgage under the diminishing musharka also. It is really easy to replicate. The main challenge is coming into the treasury instrument and into the corporate and investment banking. And that type of, if the people are talking to us, they are not negotiating on the interest rate. They are negotiating on their EBITDA, earning before uh, tax, right? Depreciation and amortization. So earning before tax, depreciation, amortization. So they are discussing
Interest,
when,
tax, and depreciation.
yeah.
Yes.
So when they are talking to us, they are basically coming and they are not saying we will not pay 20% or 15% or 10% interest margin or this. They are saying, okay, we are working with you, how you can help us to improve our EBITDA. And that is a thought which changed. And I feel in this market, this is a difference from the other markets. May I have your email address? I have shown my WhatsApp, LinkedIn, so you can follow me LinkedIn. I am just typing my email address and you can follow me on my WhatsApp channel for my other updates and other information. Yeah, Madiha, over to you again if there are any other questions.
Yes, sir. Thank you. This was really, really very wonderful. Now, I have a few questions from you, sir. First one is like what I have understood is that in Suriname, they have adopted all the Islamic values, core values, which we have totally overlooked and, overlooked and forgotten in Pakistan. And I would like you to share insight and share your views about the initiatives that you have taken, say, to, uh, somehow, because we being Pakistanis are also blessed with all those features which you have defined, like we have mining, agriculture, forestry, fisheries, tourism. We are blessed with all these things. So where we are lagging, what we
Uh,
can do to improve, Pakistani banking and improve our economy.
that's a quite challenge, the question. Thank you very much for asking this question. Uh, the question is basically, I have certain few people, and I'm very sorry. I'm not touching some controversy, but we need to think for all. We don't need, we are basically, unfortunately, here we are thinking only for the banking balance sheet. As I mentioned, banking balance sheet is very important. But being an Islamic bank, please don't charge the cost of being Muslim. If I am a ethical based investor and I am placing 5 years term deposit in the Islamic bank or in the conventional bank. Conventional bank is offering me, for example, 18%. Islamic bank is going to offer me 10%. Why? Because they both have the same, there is no challenge of the investment, there is no challenge of the liquidity, there is no challenge. You are using the same benchmark. So basically, if you are using the same benchmark, why you are asking me the cost of being Muslim? Because I am ethical based, and practically, when still from that market, I'm receiving certain questions about it. That there was a really a widow from like she got a pension of a good amount, and she was asking that I want to invest in Islamic because I want to give my kids a halal income. But the issue is, if I'm talking about the halal income, so my kids' fees are very high, and the Islamic banks are not paying me that amount. The conventional bank is paying to me. So practically, we are showing a multiple growth and profit and this and that. What these profits are all about? If we are not like, there is no level playing field right now, with all due respect, in Pakistan between Islamic bank and conventional bank, because conventional banks are struggling and no Islamic banks are struggling. So practically, rather thinking towards our own balance sheet, I'm not saying that we should not say on balance sheet. Yeah, I'll just give a forum to answer question. I'm just thinking about, yeah, about balance sheet is like to, if you will grow with the people, you will grow more. If you want to have a solo flight, unfortunately, short term you have a good solo flight, but very soon you need some people with you. So this is a big challenge into the market. Yeah, please, Hassan Arfani. Yeah, Hassan.
We have to unmute him.
Assalamu alaikum, Faizan sir. Actually, I joined very late. Hello, Madiha. I hope you are doing good. Actually, you might have answered this query. So, I've got a question for you, Faizan sir. That you know that Pakistan has actually, on government level, the State Bank has issued an instruction that by the end of 2027, all the banks are supposed to be converted into Islamic banking system. So, at what level, in South America or North America, the government is taking initiatives, just to have know-how about that. What are the developments in Islamic banking, in the other areas or other jurisdictions of the world? So, over to you.
Thank you, Hassan. There is no intentions here. We are not an Islamic country, even North America, South America, and we have nothing to do with it. We will remain into the mixed economy. The Islamic banking is like it's nothing like to conversion. Even though Pakistan, it seems, I am not out of Pakistan market since very long now, so still I feel there is a still challenge. But here there is nothing like it. We are even no plans, or maybe like why they will think for the conversions. They are not Islamic anything like this. So there is no conversion. There is nothing about it. So no plans yet. Any other question? Okay. My question is, there is a Vakar. My question is about AML CFT regime measures. There are related changes. In my country where I am working, AML CFT is one of the key part. We cannot, like, we are saying a clean money thing. We are very much compliant with AML CFT. FATF, we are already into this region is whitelist. Obviously, as Islamic Bank, people are looking to us as a different way, but all the compliance need to be comply like a compliance regulations, AML, CFT, KYC, all should be automated. And then there is a FIU, Financial Intelligence Unit, where if we have found anything, we have to report them. Okay. Is there any other question?
Any further questions? There was one question of Dr. Sohail Askar. He was asking that what do you see for the banking landscape in Pakistan in the next 5 years? How do you see Islamic banking in next 5 years?
As I mentioned, I'm not into the Islamic finance industry since last almost 10 years in Pakistan, but yeah, I have some contacts, colleagues, and they are approaching me. Obviously, due to the change of Supreme Court thing, and then as state bank or a government plan towards a conversion of the system, though I am not seeing any productive efforts yet. Only the Faisal Bank, who converted, it took almost 10 years to be converted. So the timeline is very short. And conversion, because I have seen 3 conversions already in my life of Islamic finance, Islamic bank from conventional to Islamic. Number one, we need to open up. We need to see the world. We cannot just make a buzz into the market that we are the best. We are the best, maybe, but what the world is doing into this thing, to learn from the world. That's the first thing. What the world did some mistakes during the conversions, during the because I have not seen, unfortunately, any article except for Faisal Bank that international people share certain thoughts, or they were asked. Today, I'm first time after a long time doing a session with you, Madiha, because even though we are still into our own bottle, where we are looking or we are like asking ourselves that what we are good, we are good, we are good. We need to open up. We need to discuss with the international people. We need to discuss with the international economies, Middle Eastern market, Malaysian market, Indonesian market. Indonesia is one of the case study right now into the world. I was last week into the annual summit of annual meeting of Islamic Development Bank, Jeddah, and every finance ministers were there. Indonesia was so loud into the market there, and unfortunately, I have not seen a single representation from Pakistan. We are among the founding member of Islamic Development Bank, and it was 50th basically celebration this year with this event, and unfortunately, there was no representation. And I was very shocked. Last time I met only one, our very humble with the SAS card in charge, Dr. Sania Nishtar. But this time even I have not seen no minister, no one was here. No one into the panel, no one into the case study, no one representing Islamic finance or Islamic banking thing in Islamic Development Bank. So I don't know why we are locking ourselves and where are we going. So 5 years, I am not seeing very much positive thing into the Islamic banking industry. Very sorry to give you a dark thing, but that's a fact. Because if you're seeing a people all around the world, then you can talk about it. No? Yeah.
So
Any other
now
question?
the last question. The last question from Mr. Hamad Saber.
Okay.
His question is it possible to convert all conventional banks in Pakistan to Islamic banking by 2026? Major banks are still showing resistance. So what will be the outcome?
That will be like challenging. It
Yes.
should be come from the board. See, why the conventional banks are showing the resistance is, if I'm asking, I'm talking about in certain groups, I have written something on it. I have certain few friends I'm seeing here, they left the industry. Okay. Uh, because people practically we need to come out from our thought again. I said as we are the best, right? Because conventional banks are saying what Islamic banks made a differentiation into the market. What they made it, right? What the new thing, a new innovative thing happened by the Islamic bank. Yeah, only certain banks, conventional banks, are really happy to go towards the Islamic banking because of a low cost of funds. Okay, when they are saying a low cost of fund, their balance sheet will grow. And the banks are doing, conventional banks. I have been the part of in many groups and theories of when the in 2012 there was a profit and loss guideline came from central bank. Before there was a fixed rate the Islamic banks need to pay minimum rate of profit they need to pay, and it was not the minimum rate of profit. Basically, it was a requirement that if you have a profit calculation, profit distribution less than 5% at that time, then the corridor rate and this type of things came. At that time, it was 2012, before November 2012, there was a guideline that if you need to pay less than 5%, you need to send a letter to central bank. Central bank will come and do the inspection. And after the inspection, central bank may allow you to pay the less rate. None of the bank paid the less rate. In November, we negotiated with the central bank that no, we cannot pay the fixed rate. We are the Islamic bank and this and this. Still, I feel a shame on me that I was part of the bank, because in November, the guideline came and every Islamic bank was paying 5%. And in December, all of the sudden, when the rule changed, the Islamic banks were paying 2.5%, 2%, less than the zakat rate even. Rather, they were doing right before November 2012 or after November 2012. That's a big challenge that nobody is asking this question into the market, and nobody dare to ask the question. Because then if
That's
you will
where we
ask,
are lacking.
there is a harmony issue in our country. And then how we will go towards a conversion? Just a low cost of fund. I was a part of IHPL. We were playing for the low cost of fund. Most of the deposits were transferred towards Islamic finance, and we were playing a low cost of fund because no fixed profit rate and the bank's margins can increase. So that is the thing. So, but productively, industrialization, development, infrastructure development, none of the single sukuk issued into the Pakistan for real-time development. There are the sukuk came for coal energy. There are Wabda is a very good example. But there is a challenge which we need to accept. Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Faizan, thank you. That was really very enlightening session, and we have learned a great deal about the Islamic banking landscape in South America, including its potential trends, opportunities, and challenges. Before we conclude, I would like to extend a heartfelt thanks to Mr. Faizan for his valuable time and insights. Your contribution has been incredibly beneficial to us, and we appreciate sincerely your sharing of time and expertise with us today. Finally, lastly, but not the least, thanks to everyone who joined us for this webinar. We hope that you found it really informative and engaging. If you have any further questions or would like to have more information, please do not hesitate to reach out to us or Mr. Faizan directly on his email ID provided in the group chat. Furthermore, don't forget to register and stay connected to our future series of insightful webinars and discussions. Have a great day. Allah Hafiz. Thank you.